You may find it handy to refer to spelling rule card 45 for this list, and you may find it also handy to refer to some source of etymology. So there's a little hint down here. The pronunciation of a word will be dependent on the origin of the word. For example, ballet and puppet. So we know when we give the ET and A sound, it's usually from the French language, and when we give puppet, the ET, the et sound at the end, it's usually Italian from Latin. So if we go through, we've got ballet, buffet, chalet, valet, and gourmet. So that's indicating that they're all French words. Debut, cushion, fashion, entree, and restaurant. So we know the English rule is that we may only use SH at the start or end of an English word. If we want to use that sound in the middle of a word, we know we have to use TI, SI, CI, CE or XI. There's only one word with CE in it for the sound, and that's ocean. And there's only two for the XI as well. So we use that in the middle of English words for the sound, and they usually come from Old Latin too. So words have evolved from, English words have evolved from other languages. Now that's why we have the SH in cushion and fashion. They're not English words. They are French words. So that's so usually if there's a word that's not following the English rule, it's because it's not from the English language. We've taken it from another language and now use it as part of the English lexicon. Okay, so what do each of these words mean? Ballet means classical dance with tutus and point shoes. A buffet is a meal where each person serves themselves from a selection of food. A chalet is a low wooden house common in the French or Swiss Alps. A valet is a hotel or ship employee who performs personal services for guests. Gourmet is an enthusiastic expert of fine food and drink. A debut means your first appearance in public, and it used to be quite a social occasion in days gone by, not so much today. A cushion, of course, is an ornamental pillow. Fashion is the current popular style, especially in clothing. Entree is a dish served before the main course. And a restaurant is a business where meals are prepared and served to customers. Okay, go through and highlight anything you can see within these words that may make spelling of them easier for you, and then read them, cover them, write them, and check that you have spelt them correctly. Then we want you to complete the crossword. So you've got clues going horizontally or across the page, and some clues going vertically or down the page. So for instance, number 4 is there. You write one letter in each of the squares, including any boxes with a number in it. So an enthusiastic expert of fine food and drink. You could write the answer there. It's going to be a list word from above. Number 8, so fine, number 8, you know it's got 6 letters, so it's got to be a word up the top with 6 letters. A meal where each person serves themselves from a selection of food, so you could work out which word that is, and one letter in each box. Down the bottom you have to write sentences using the list words given. At the top of the page you have to read the words, cover them and write them, and check to make sure you've spelt them correctly. Then down here you're going to write the root word, then use the first word in a sentence. So write the root word from the given word, but you're using the first word in a sentence on the lines given. See if you can use some adjectives and adverbs in those sentences to make them more interesting. So fill in the gap with a list word or a list word extension. Make sure that you use the word in its correct form within each of those sentences. So do make sure you read the sentences once you've filled them all in to make sure that they do make sense. Now fashion. We want you to use fashion as a verb, so define it and then use it in a sentence. Then we want you to write a sentence using each of these expressions. Now, if you don't know what these expressions mean, you may have to do some research. So if something goes out of fashion, what does that mean? Or a fashion victim, what would that mean? Today's day 4 is on modal auxiliary verbs. So you can make verb phrases using modal auxiliary verbs. Unlike the primary auxiliary verbs, be, do and have, these are not conjugated or changed when put into a verb phrase. So modal auxiliary verbs, we could have can, could, may, might, must, shall, should or will, would. So write sentences using the modal auxiliary verbs and the action verb given. For example, should sleep. From those we could write I should sleep 8 hours per night. So you've got could walk, will read, must eat, might travel, can swim. How certain are we about something? So we can go from uncertain to very certain. Have a listen to the action verbs we've got here. We've got might go, could go, should go, will go, must go. So write a sentence using the action verb below. Use a modal auxiliary verb to help demonstrate the level of certainty indicated. So you're going to have to decide which of these modal auxiliary verbs would best suit to buy something that you are uncertain about buying, buying something that you're very certain about buying, and something about that you might explore which you're somewhat certain about.